All right. Hello. Welcome back to my channel. No, I'm kidding. Um, I was copying him a little bit. I listened to this guy's video. I've never heard of this guy until now. I listened to his video a little bit earlier while I was spreading the Emperor's will on Space Marine 2. And when I would tune in, I found myself disagreeing, and I feel like I want to give 100% attention to this and respond to a few of the points he made because I feel like they didn't make a lot of sense to me.
Ago I made a video dedicated to talking about Hassan Piker. Well, today we've got another one, as you know, and this video is dedicated to Destiny. Now, whatever you may think about Destiny's ability to speak, debate,
Would like to start by saying I am a fan of Destiny's. No one has really made a compelling argument against him that I've seen, at least. And typically when people respond to it, they either are disingenuous or they just miss what he's saying. Yeah, I'll continue.
positions, rhetoric, political analysis is all completely irrelevant. Because as it was the case with Hassan Piker, he too has crossed multiple lines. I used to watch his debates sometimes. I watched him debate Andrew Wilson, I watched him debate Ben Shapiro, and in general I enjoyed listening to positions from both sides in order for me to maintain an open mind and seeing how people counter arguments that otherwise you would only hear within echo chambers. However, I completely stopped watching him after he made fun of the firefighter who lost his life during President Trump's assassination attempt. At that point, I thought that Stephen Bonnell had reached his new low, his lowest point.
I don't know why that would be the line to cross. Pretty sure he's made jokes like that way before the firefighter. If I remember.
But boy was I wrong. It seems like that similarly to Piker Boy, Destiny has also been calling for political violence for a while and appears to have had no repercussions when it comes to possible deplatforming or even legal procedures when it comes to that so far. Watch.
I'm ready for the great cleansing, dude.
Cleansing?
The cleansing.
What cleansing?
When we genocide conservatives in this country.
Are you gonna be out in the streets with your Glock?
Maybe. I gotta go back to Nebraska and grab it.
You genuinely do hate conservatives, don't you?
Very much so. I've moved full on to like the political violence level or the real violence level when it comes to conservative people. Yeah, I think they need to be like excised from my fucking country. I think they are demonstrably fucking evil people by any moral system that most people would use.
Yeah, you instead are a saint.
And then I just hate them because they tend to destroy the outcomes related to this country, which is what I'm concerned with. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's
Is that him calling for it or just giving his opinion on it?
a topic I'm not yet sort of ready to touch.
Conservatives have been disgusting for years, which is why I don't give a fuck about anybody that winds up at any of these rallies and gets shot or whatever the fuck, okay? Because they had no problem making fun of Paul Pelosi. The entire world would be better off if these people were permanently removed from these platforms. Like, there is no downside and only upside to see people like Candace Owens, Tucker Carlson, Tim Pool never be allowed to publicly broadcast their opinions ever again. It's exclusively bad stuff that happens. Conservatives have been
I think you have been disgusting for years.
Again, that's saying that they should be removed because they have been calling for political violence. I can prove it. Is this the right one? Oh no. Oh, look at that. That's us calling. That's main Democratic figures saying, "Hey, stop doing political violence." Not that one either. Maybe I don't have it on my PC. I might have it on my phone. We'll include that just so you see it. It's just the finish of the Stephen Miller tweet. Now this is just going to be one example of main right-wing political figures who, this was after Charlie Kirk's assassination, or right when he got shot. These are main right-wing political figures who are calling for war. Tim Pool has been calling for war much longer than this, and he's one of the he's, I think, as popular, if not more popular, than Charlie Kirk, I think. Like, you guys have been, like, Republicans have been doing this for a long time. The main guy, the president of the United States, who should be the main person telling us to not do this, says that it's all the left's fault. And this was all before, mind you, this was all before we knew the identity of the shooter. You guys do it, like, constantly. Republicans do this. And it's ridiculous. After every terror attack, you either don't take accountability or you just shift the accountability onto us. And I say us because I consider myself a Democrat, because Republicans are fucking insane nowadays. It's ridiculous. But that's just a few examples of that. And you're calling him disgusting when right-wing figures have been doing this for a very long time. This is domestic terror incidents by year. Violent right-wing, violent left-wing, other. This is the source of it. Look at that. Look at all that gold. We had, left-wing getting a little fuckery around in here, but then, someone, don't know who, clamped down on that shit. And then, like, another, like, far right, and, like, you can say, oh, religious isn't right wing, but religion is typically, religion and right wing ideology go hand in hand. So I would even count religious towards far right. Like in 2000, I think this is showing the same thing that this one showed. I'm assuming this is probably around 2000. But, like, the majority of these of attacks and calls for violence are by the right wing. Again, in 2000, I agree, the left wing was doing some fuckery around here. But the majority of the time, it's right wing. It's religious. I'm counting religious towards right wing, so ethno-nationalists. don't see how you can say that the left wing are the more violent people when it's been proven, like, you're choosing to not see a certain reality because you don't like the people that are left, the people who are gay, trans, brown. Like, it's ridiculous.
Years. The logical idiocy of trying to tell us that laughing and making fun of Pelosi's husband's situation is horrific and ending up doing the same thing. Hypocrite. Of course, making fun of...
Sure, he's a hypocrite, but he's also made these jokes for years. Jokes similar to this for years. Like, it can be hypocrisy, but he's only doing it in retaliation. He's responding to these people. If they like, if they're gonna make jokes like this, why can't I? You know.
What happened to Pelosi is wrong, was wrong, should be condemned, but you did the same thing, so you are no better than the people you say you hate. You should hate yourself now. There are plenty of people in this world who have never made fun or laughed at someone else's misfortunes. You are not one of them. So what happens? This is, of course, just the tip of the iceberg. Let's have a look at...
Also, if I remember correctly, he didn't make fun of the firefighter. He just said he doesn't fucking feel bad for him because Destiny believes that Trump's a fascist. That I'm gonna put a little interruption here. As you can see, I'm editing, but also I wanted to say that in the photo here that I'm bringing up that I lost. Hold on, give me a second. This photo here, he's kind of making fun of him. I mean, he's clearly like more just comebacks, but I guess he is making fun of him if you want to make that argument. This, I believe, is the firefighter who died. So if I remember that, I don't know if I'd be able to find it, but if I remember the context of this tweet here, the man was asked between like Hillary Clinton, Hitler, Stalin, and Putin to lead their country or whatever, and I think he chose Putin. Oh well, this was easier to find than I thought. Ah, okay. Room is completely engulfed in flames. You can only save one. Okay. So it's between AOC, Hillary Clinton, Biden, or Putin. 3 people. I mean, she's probably the most questionable here, I guess. But 3 people who are good people. And then you have Putin, who's just a piece of garbage. So that's the context of this. And so he calls him a retard and whatnot because he thinks he's a traitor. And yeah, that's all I wanted to add. I might add more later. Yeah. In fact, I am going to add more. In that picture, he gets disciplined by Elon Musk himself. If I remember correctly, he got banned, I think, for at least a week. He got like What? What do you mean? The right actively censors the left constantly, all the time. But yeah, no, that's the richest man in the world banned him for making jokes that the right does constantly as well, and the right don't just so happen don't get punished. Yeah, okay. On with the video. And Trump has proven over and over again that he is, and that he's trying to coup our country. And this guy, this firefighter, who I believe said some pretty hateful things online as well. Now that doesn't justify killing him, but the point I'm trying to make here is that he doesn't feel sorry for a person who supports a bad person. If a bad person supports a bad person and one of the bad people gets killed, he's not going to feel sorry for them. And he might poke fun at the fact that, oh, well, if you're going to hang out at a fascist rally, you know, whatever. It's kind of like, oh, if you're going to drive a car, you expect you might get in an accident sometimes. Like, I don't think political violence is the answer, but the right is purposely pushing people to the edge. They're pushing people who they're in their own side. The guy who killed Charlie Kirk, his parents were MAGA. He was MAGA, I believe, from what I've read / heard. When you push, you can only beat a dog so much before it decides to bite you because you're not giving it any other options. If that makes sense.
Look at what kind of posts he has produced after.
And Trump and his administration is actively taking away the options that we can use to defend ourselves. He took away the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court has ruled in favor of Trump something like 90% of the time. Hold on, I think I have a thing for this. The Supreme Court has ruled in favor of Trump for 90%. 93.7% of these cases. Open, please. Please open. Okay, hold on. Like, this is not good. This shows by, like, not by partisanship. That was not what I should have said. This shows that they're compromised, that they're I don't know if compromise is the right word. Let me think of another word. Partisan, I guess. Like, they only care. They're pushing. They're only pushing his stuff. And if I think 2 cases out of them, and the reasoning that they give just doesn't track. In one of the cases, they contradict themselves. The guy, what is it called? There's dissenting and then agreeing, but the guy contradicted himself in his own reasoning for why he ruled the way he did. Like, my point being is that they're taking away our options to defend ourselves non-violently. And I'm not calling for violence, but that's not good. What choice do people have if the only choice you're giving them is to punch you?
After the assassination of Charlie Kirk, shall we? For instance, there is this clip. During a Piers Morgan Uncensored, the following statement was made. Stop calling everyone you disagree with Nazis. There is a real world out there, and your words can make people pick up guns. I agree, 100%. What does Mr.
We're like, they're not calling you Nazis. They're saying you are acting like Nazis. You are using their playbook. That you're using the playbook that Hitler used to get into power. I think Putin followed a similar playbook to get into power.
Bonnell say in response to that? You know what actually legitimizes widespread violence? ? The President of the United States constantly reminding people that the 2020 elections was fraudulent. Close quotes.
Why didn't you read the whole quote? He maintains this position to this day, and the majority of Republicans maintain that position to this day. This is untenable. Why? I don't know why you wouldn't finish that. That's pretty important there. That seems like you did that on purpose. Why? Because when the president is constantly telling you for years that they stole an election from you and he caused a riot, all those J6ers went in there. They caused pain and suffering. They got people killed. He pardoned all of them, even the ones tried and convicted for seditious conspiracy, or I don't think it was seditious conspiracy. It was a similar word though. But he's showing that he's pardoning people who do his bidding. He's showing that it's okay. You can use political violence because he will pardon you. Those people on J6 used political violence, and he pardoned all of them. The president himself, in the interview that he did after Charlie Kirk's assassination, was arguably calling for violence. And we're going to watch the video right here. Hopefully YouTube lets me do this.
To my great fellow Americans, I am filled with grief and anger at the heinous assassination of Charlie Kirk on a...
Mind you, he didn't do this for the Minnesota shooters. He doesn't do this for school shootings. Doesn't do this for anyone on the left.
college campus in Utah. Charlie inspired millions, and tonight, all who knew him and loved him are united in shock and horror. Charlie was a patriot who devoted his life to the cause of open debate and the country that he loved so much, the United States of America. He fought for liberty, democracy, justice, and the American people. He's a martyr for truth and freedom, and there's never been anyone who was so respected by youth. Charlie was also a man of deep, deep faith, and we take comfort in the knowledge that he is now at peace with God in heaven. Our prayers are with his wife, Erica, the two young, beloved children, and his entire family, who he loved more than anything in the world. We ask God to watch over them in this terrible hour of heartache and pain. This is a dark moment for America. Charlie Kirk traveled the nation, joyfully engaging with everyone interested in good faith debate. His mission was to bring young people into the political process, which he did better than anybody ever, to share his love of country and to spread the simple words of common sense. On campuses nationwide, he championed his ideas with courage, logic, humor, and grace. It's a long past time for all Americans and the media to confront the fact that violence and murder are the tragic consequence of demonizing those with whom you disagree day after day, year after year, in the most hateful and despicable way possible. For years, those on the radical left have compared wonderful Americans like Charlie to Nazis and the world's worst mass murderers and criminals. This kind of rhetoric is directly responsible for the terrorism that we're seeing in our country today. And
This was before we knew anything about the shooter. We had no clue who the shooter was, no clue his political affiliation, no idea. What we know now is that this guy was MAGA, and supposedly he didn't think Charlie was right enough. His own supporter killed Charlie, from what I can see, from what I know of him. The only reason we caught the assassin was because his parents turned him in.
it must stop right now. My administration will find each and every one of those who contributed to this atrocity and to other political violence, including the organizations that fund it and support it, as well as those who go after our judges, law enforcement officials, and everyone else who brings order to our country. From the attack on my life in Butler, Pennsylvania last year, which killed a husband and father, to the attacks on ICE agents, to the vicious murder of a healthcare executive in the streets of New York, to the shooting of House Majority Leader Steve Scalise and 3 others, radical left political violence has hurt too many innocent people and taken too many lives. Tonight, I ask all Americans to commit themselves to the American values for which Charlie Kirk lived and died, the values of free speech, citizenship, the rule of law, and the patriotic devotion and love of God. Charlie was the best of America, and the monster who attacked him was attacking our whole country. An assassin tried to silence him with a bullet, but he failed, because together we will ensure that his voice, his message, and his legacy will live on for countless generations to come. Today, because of this heinous act, Charlie's voice has become bigger and grander than ever before, and it's not even close. May God bless his memory, may God watch over his family, and may God bless the United States of America. Thank you.
Like, all he didn't, that wasn't turning it down for me. And he called out left people, called us demon
To
terrorists.
my
or
great
whatever.
fellow Americans, I am filled with grief and anger at the heinous assassination of Charlie Kirk on a college campus in Utah. Charlie inspired millions, and tonight, all who knew him and loved him are united in shock and horror. Charlie was a patriot.
And like, it was only a 4-minute video. Apparently, this is an AI video. What? That is wild. If he posted an AI video. But my point still stands. Like, all he did was turn up the rhetoric and call the left terrorists. It's ridiculous. And I'll add that in this video. was arguably calling for violence against the left. He was turning up the rhetoric, saying that we're demons, saying that we're terrorists, saying, shit like that. Saying that we pulled out this political assassination when he had zero proof of it.
Constantly reminding people that the 2020 elections was fraudulent. Close quotes. The word
Again, why? I don't understand why he's ending that there. He could go to the original tweet and read it out, but he chooses to stop there. To me, that shows he's being a little disingenuous. Maybe even trying to mislead people or lie.
reminding people that the 2020 elections was
Trying to mischaracterize what Destiny is saying.
fraudulent. Close quotes. The words spoken, the claims made by the President of the United States do not legitimize any form of widespread violence. And in this type of mentality that causes outcomes such as what happened of widespread violence, and in this President of the United States was fraudulent. Close quotes. The words spoken, the claims made by the President of the United States do not legitimize any form of widespread violence. And in this type of mentality that causes outcomes such as what happened.
While I agree it doesn't legitimize widespread violence, his followers think it does.
To Charlie Kirk. And mind you, this post was made 23 hours ago, which means after the assassination of Charlie Kirk. No. Whatever statement made by the President of the United States legitimizes you to use your words to disagree or make debunking videos, if that's what you want to do, that's what it legitimizes you to do. I guess you could strike as long as you keep it peaceful, but that's it. What else did he post?
What?
As you keep it. That's what it words to. Whatever statement made by the President of the United States legitimizes you to use your words to disagree or make debunking videos, if that's what you want to do, that's what it legitimizes you to do. I guess you could strike as long as you keep it peaceful, but that's it. What else did he post? Let's check this one on his page.
I hate Charlie Kirk. I think he's actually a Satan spawn, but he's very, very strategically minded. I hate Charlie Kirk. I think he's actually a Satan spawn, but he's very, very strategically minded. I hate Charlie Kirk. I think he's actually...
Right. Charlie Kirk is a Satan spawn, according to... And somehow CNN showed that. Absolutely, CNN showed this tolerance. I am sure that the left is going to be packed of new people moving from the center, thinking, man, you know what? This is what I really want. You convinced me now that you... Yeah. This is exactly the 12th. Absolutely. 12th of September. 12th of September. And what he has to say about it? Make a joke and change it into was. That's why...
Read the whole thing. Why aren't you reading the whole thing?
You can change it into was.
There's a lot more up there in that tweet there, bud. I'll read it for you. I've noticed a lot of people clipping this video and trying to use it to say I believe in things that I don't, or claim I'm saying things that I'm not actually saying. As an online political commentator, I believe it is my responsibility to ensure that I'm delivering my message in as clear and concise a way as possible. If too many people are misinterpreting what I'm saying, I need to do a better job to correct my language appropriately. I want to be clear about the language I'm using in this clip. It is from August 2025 and before the recently political motivated assassination occurred. Make no mistake, I would absolutely not say the same thing today. Recognizing the events have recently unfolded, it would be more accurate to say I hated Charlie Kirk. Think he was a Satan. Okay. Okay. That is kind of funny. And you do have a point there.
That's why
God damn
these people are the enemy of the left before being the enemy of the right. They are the reason so many centrists are turning right-wing. And they are the reason why so many moderate lefties are turning centrist. Prove me wrong. Now, of course, he made more videos about
I don't think a lot of people are gonna go from center to right because of a tweet there, but I think they're gonna go from center to right because they disagree, or because people are framing left as terrorists. They're saying that in Kirk's assassination, they even said that, like, he was left. At first, they said he was a left trans shooter, and then it came out that he just liked trans ideology or whatever, and that he was still left wing. Now it's that he's a cis white male who's MAGA, who has a trans roommate / girlfriend who convinced him to carry out this assassination. That's what they're doing. That's what the right wing is doing right now. They're, instead of just coming up with the facts and saying, okay, this guy was on our side, but we don't like what he just did because what he just did was very bad. And it looks like he was just trying to make a martyr out of Kirk. Like, that's my own personal little theory, is that this dude was just, he saw how Trump was, like, losing a lot of support on the right, in Republicans, and he decided to try to make a martyr out of Kirk, I guess. I could get more into that theory, but that's not really the topic of this.
about it. Let's have a look. Is he being at least basically decent? I'm not asking for him to like Charlie Kirk. That would be a lie, clearly, so I appreciate honesty. But what is he saying? Is he being decent? Decent and destiny are two D's you will never see together anywhere. He says, don't apologize for Charlie Kirk's death. You gotta be joking. His body was still warm and his wife is still grieving, and this is what he does. And by the way, he was
Why? Okay, but he's saying don't apologize for Charlie Kirk's death. Why he didn't pull out the assassination. I didn't. The left didn't. Democrats didn't. It was a crazy white MAGA dude. We know who did it, apparently. Supposedly. Allegedly. There's nothing wrong with him saying don't apologize for it. And you haven't even started the video to see why he's saying it.
was mocking his wife as well, as she was like kneeling in front of the casket crying, and he was mocking her. This guy is vile. This guy is anything.
I watched that. He wasn't mocking her. He was saying that it was fucking cringe. And he even said that she can have 2 weeks to be crazy. And then she did that. And then in the video itself, I think even in the video itself.
Good evening. My name is Erica Kirk. Charlie Kirk is my husband. I first want to thank the local, state, and federal law enforcement who worked tirelessly to capture my husband's assassin so that he can be brought to justice.
Charlie Kirk's...
Mind you, they didn't do a fucking thing. This dude was turned in by his parents because they're MAGA.
wife Erica Kirk has spoken out about his death. She appeared on a live stream on Friday to deliver her first public address after the death of her turning
Mr.
point.
President, my husband loved you. To everyone listening tonight across America, the movement my husband built will not die.
Oh, I love you. I love you. I love you. I know. I love you. I love you. I love you. God bless you.
Like he said, I'm like I'm pretty, if I remember correctly, he was calling that creepy. Because I believe I watched the stream, unless he did another one. But he was calling that creepy, and then he said everyone around her is taking advantage of her. And that a wife in mourning wouldn't even make a video like that right away. Like, it, from Destiny's point of view, and I kind of agree with his point of view, is that if she's truly in mourning, she's being seriously taken advantage of because people are manipulating her into making these videos. They're recording her mourning, having a very whatever moment with her husband at a casket, in his casket. Like, people react different ways, and sure, well, what she did was creepy. I can agree with that. If she's truly in mourning, that's how she copes with it. She's mourning. She wants to do that, as long as she's not like fucking cutting pinky toes off or whatever. But yeah, I think I've conveyed my point that I was trying to make. Oh, the don't apologize for Kirk's death is, I don't know if he plays it in this video, but I'll just say it now, is that a common theme that Destiny points out is that the right does not accept accountability for any wrongdoing whatsoever. And the left is constantly forced to either condone or apologize or whatever for things that we had nothing to do with. That's the point that Destiny's trying to make, and we'll see if he plays the video for us to find out. But considering that this video is 16 minutes long, it's a 26-minute video that he's looking at right now.
And everything he accuses the opposite side to be. So whenever this guy sees,
this is retaliatory. He's showing you what they're doing.
someone vile on the other side, which of course exists. Vile people exist everywhere. There are vile people in my religion, Christianity. That doesn't make Christianity wrong. It just makes the people who are within Christianity that happen to be vile.
Bro, Christianity itself is vile. It has vile shit that happens in it. It has people who claim to get their morals from Christianity. A lot of the moral lessons in Christianity are terrible. The Bible itself is terrible. I feel like I need to add that I'm not a religious person, but that doesn't mean I haven't fucking read this shit. Like, I even got the Holy Quran. I don't know how to say that. Not very good at it. But yeah, no bueno.
Vile. And this is what people like him are doing. They take the full group and they apply the worst rhetoric from a single bad apple onto the entire group. And
it's not a single bad apple, my dude, my guy, my friend. It's not a single bad apple. It's all of them. It's from top down. This isn't a single bad apple. This is all of them. You've got the richest guy in the fucking world. You've got the president of the free world. You've got one of the most popular TikTok channels, I think, on the, and I could be wrong about that, but like, what are you talking about? And then you have the left from top down are constantly telling people to fucking stop. This is from the top. Trump didn't do shit like this. He just said that left were terrorists. When Joe Biden was president and Trump got shot at, Joe Biden made like a 15, 20-minute video saying don't fuck with your neighbors. Just because you can find a few no-names on TikTok and Twitter who might be laughing at Kirk's death does not mean from the top down we are. Because it's from the top down that our leaders are saying don't fucking do this. Destiny himself said don't fucking do this. And a lot of the people who I do see laughing at Kirk's death, they're not even laughing, laughing, so to speak. They're saying what happened to him was bad, but we don't give a fuck that it happened to him. We don't condone what happened to him, but we also, it doesn't surprise us that it happened. We saw it coming, basically. When you spew hateful rhetoric your entire career, hate's going to come back your way.
And then they say they're call to actions for violence. This is the difference. This is an important aspect that needs to be underlined. Do not take...
This guy's choosing to be blind. He's choosing to lie right here. That's, from my point of view, this guy is lying on purpose. Because he doesn't like Destiny, I guess, or the left.
Take bad apples and apply them to everyone. Take the bad apples and hold them accountable. But he says...
Again, top down.
Says, don't apologize for Charlie Kirk's death. Excuse me, what? First of all, who is asking to apologize? Look at the mental manipulation there. No one is asking someone who didn't do anything to apologize. However, if there is someone like you who has been constantly pushing for violence onto people you disagree with.
We are constantly forced to condone things. Otherwise, we get called bad. We get called terrible people. Even if we say, oh, I'm not surprised by it. Shit like that.
Yes, you should apologize, but you won't because you wanted this. He said it. He stated it.
Destiny hasn't called for violence. He's given his opinion, and the videos that you used were years ago. In this situation, Destiny has said we need to bring down the rhetoric. But the one person, and I agree with this statement too, is that the one person who can bring the rhetoric down right now is Trump, and he chooses that. Excuse me. He chooses not to. He chooses to turn it up. Because Trump, from my point of view, I think wants a civil war. He wants to arrest all the Democrats, throw them out of the government, so that he can get his way. Whatever that may be, getting rid of the Epstein files, who knows?
He said this is what he wanted. This is the America he wants to live in. An America where people cannot freely express their ideas without the fear of being gunned down like animals.
He did not say that. When did he say that?
This is the America he wants, which is why he's now doubling.
No, it's not. He's saying over and over again that he doesn't want this.
Pulling down and saying, don't apologize. Tell me I'm wrong.
I just did.
Tell me my analysis is incorrect.
It's incorrect.
This sounds like a bad thing to say. This sounds like a bad thing to say, and people don't like to think of it this way, but
It is a bad thing to say.
the reality is there are like 4 different worlds that we can live in, and it relates to
He didn't even say anything yet.
like this concept of like a prisoner's dilemma. In the prisoner's dilemma, I think a lot of people talk about this. I don't know how many people are aware of how it actually works, but for prisoner's dilemma, the issue with it is it's a
Who speaks faster, XQC or Destiny?
What does this have to do with the video?
Enunciation. If you want, I can give you some
Bro.
diction lessons, Destiny. So,
He didn't ask. No one cares. You're now, I believe this is called an ad hominem. You are attacking the way he speaks because you don't want to listen to his argument.
after all, a professional language teacher, you need to learn to enunciate.
paradoxical setup kind of where there is a positive outcome for 2 different players. However, both players basically become incentivized using logic to take the worst outcome, basically, for collectively. So you have 2 different people who are caught, and the 2 people who are caught are being interrogated by the police. And then the question is do you cooperate with the police and rat out your friend, or do you not cooperate with the police? I shouldn't be using cooperate. Or do you not work with the police and then you cooperate with your friend? That's supposed to be phrased, right? Okay, we'll say prisoner 1 cooperates.
Okay, I don't care about this. Also because and then people tell me I use word salads.
There is a worse world than this one here.
He's explaining prisoner's dilemma.
We're just pretending that it is. The violence against each other. Civility.
Yeah.
Okay? This is where we kind of want to be.
Yes.
All right? We want to be...
Oh, well, you don't.
He does. He said he does.
We do. You want violence on the streets.
Incorrect.
So no, you don't want civility. Don't put we. You and I are not the same.
How can you say that he wants violence on the street when he is literally saying, don't do that?
Here, where...
Like,
things are civil. All right? Meaning we're not killing each other.
Right.
Or having a bad time enacting violence against each other. This would be like ideal. This is a good
Yeah.
world. Okay?
Yeah.
Right now, at best, we're in this world. Okay?
Which you created.
Nobody wants to say this.
how did he create this? Destiny is not responsible for all the violence in this country. What the fuck are you talking about? He created this.
Yes, but the problem is that this here is not the worst world. We're just pretending that it is. Okay?
Of course.
The reason why it doesn't make sense for Democrats to disavow over and over and over again when Republicans won't do it is because there is a worse world for this. And the worst world is...
I would like to underline, not to interrupting too much, but I would like to underline. Did you see what he's doing? Democrats are disavowing, so the whole group are saying violence bad, but Republicans are not doing that. Did you not see the wave of Democrats and liberals that had been specifically laughing and giggling for Charlie Kirk's death? And I found some TikTokers who specifically asked, as a call to action, now go and do Charlie's children and wife.
While that's not cool, not okay in any ways, I don't give a fuck about a 100 follower TikTok account. What I care about is the president of the United States and the richest man in the fucking world and fucking other politicians. I think Stephen Miller's a politician. Like, I care about our administration saying that people are evil. I care about people who have actual influence saying that an entire half of the country is evil because one of your people went fucking insane and killed another one of your people. Why the fuck do I care about random TikTok influencer? And notice how he doesn't pull up any examples. He could, like, just, you made this video, pull up like anybody from the top down. If you can come up with anybody from the left who's of significant importance, who is specifically calling out for violence and saying that Charlie Kirk deserved it and shit like that, then sure. But so far, I've seen none of that. Just because you have random civilians who, like, you yourself are a hypocrite. What you're doing your own bad apple analogy.
Is he out of his mind? The reality is, because I'm the one who tells that this is a political manipulator. I tell it how.
My guy, you didn't even want to watch. You're not even watching his whole video.
How it is. The reality is that there are some people that condemn violence, usually the overwhelming majority, and then there are people who want violence. However, what happened in the wake of Charlie Kirk's assassination and the aftermath, you are probably a liberal and you're watching this and you'd say, no, I don't want that. I don't want violence. I'm against violence. I didn't like Charlie Kirk, but I'm against violence. Great. I never said all liberals. He's the one who speaks in full groups. I don't. I'm saying there is a...
Because the full group is showing that they want violence from the top down. The full group is showing this.
Certain number of people that are specifically celebrating, laughing, giggling, and that is causing a strong reaction on the right. Now, are there some people on the right that are pushing it too far? Yes. If someone on the right says, now we need to retaliate off destiny, it's wrong. And I will call it out. That's not the way to do it. But let's not pretend that the same level of laughing and giggling happened when the Democratic senators were offed. I didn't see.
There was the whole Nightmare on Wall Street shit. Trump wouldn't even go to their funeral. Like, it was barely in the news, if at all. What are you fucking talking about, dude?
These thousands and thousands of conservatives, particularly kids, going around saying, we got this person in the neck, we got this person in the neck. I didn't see that. I didn't see that. And if there were some...
If you didn't see it, it's because you were purposely... It was on purpose, my dude.
Which is why it is absolutely abhorrent that now he's going to pretend as if all liberals want no violence, but all Republicans never say that. You're out of your mind. You're out of your mind.
No,
This is why centrists turn right.
I'll call it genocide, but I mean, it's...
No, centrists turn right because of dudes like you who are being... You're purposely being misleading, mischaracterizing, whatever you want to call it. Like, you're just straight up showing falsehoods. You're trying to manipulate. You called him a political manipulator. You are purposely trying to manipulate this into making it what it's not.
You can put whatever you want here. Genocide, absolute violence, one-sided firing squad, whatever, execution.
Right.
There is a worse world than this one here.
We all know that.
And that worse world is one side enacting violence.
Of course.
And the problem is that the Republican rhetoric is pushing us in that direction. Where the Republicans want to push us here, right? Where it's a Dem utter loss. And they do that by already trying to say that we are here, right? You've heard the Republicans say over and over again, it's all left-wing violence, it's all left-wing violence, it's all left-wing violence. And they do that as a call to their own side that they need to respond with violence.
And the way to prove them wrong, if that's what you want to do, is to condemn the shooting of the children, the Christian children, by the way, that were killed by someone who clearly wasn't a Republican. I think it's obvious. And then also this Charlie Kirk's assassination. You do not have the moral ground if you laugh. It's one of the two.
What? Christian children? Even I'm seeing something for December. Is he talking about something recent? December of 24. Yeah, you're gonna have to pull up examples, but you can't just.
You gotta choose. I would have respected Democrats if they had said, and I do respect those Democrats like that have been condemning this, but a lot of you guys are laughing about it, so you lose the moral ground. Be angry at those.
So then, by what he just said, he respects these people. He respects them. You just heard it from him. But notice how he didn't bring up an example. Didn't bring up any examples at all to show why he doesn't respect Democrats or why he does. He's just choosing to say, nope, you guys are bad from the top down.
Those people on your side that are laughing about this. You
Again, no one gives a fuck about random bot accounts, random Twitter accounts. No one cares about 50 follower people. No one cares about that. We care about the leaders and major influencers of our country condemning this stuff. And every single time something like this happens, I'll switch sides to be a little more accurate. The right is just calls for war, calls for more violence, and the left is like, hey, fucking stop it.
You included. You laughed. You said you were gonna make fun of the firefighter. You were the one who pushed the people in your audience to now go around and laugh. So you lost the moral ground. You want to regain it? Condemn the violence, but don't make a video saying don't apologize for Charlie Kirk's death.
He did. He already condemned the violence. And he can make jokes if he wants to. If you don't like them, don't look at them. I guess. But the huge difference between him making a joke and what the right has been doing is that his is a joke, and if you have a conversation with him about the joke, he'll say it's a joke, that he's not, and shit like that. The right will just say, yeah, Democrats deserve to die. We should hang them.
So the reason why I'm not sympathetic to people saying we need to turn down the temperature, well,
Look.
just because the other side isn't doing it doesn't mean we can't. No, we're not in the worst world right now. This world, right, which is this part of the prisoner's dilemma box, this world is preferable right here to this world.
You see what he's doing? Once again, mental manipulation. It's as clear as day.
Bro, I don't even know what the fuck Destiny is. What is he referring to with this shit? You didn't listen to his fucking prisoner's dilemma shit. Bro, you didn't watch the video. You're cherry picking little bits and pieces and then just saying you're just allowing garbage to flow out of your mouth.
Day. He's giving you an answer that is correct. Yes, the world with violence is preferable to the world with genocide. That's correct, but it's unrelated. That's what he does. So he says something and you listen to it and you're like, well, yeah, I agree with that. But it has nothing to do with, oh, that's why we shouldn't call for stopping violence or lowering temperature. Do you see how unrelated the two things are? And he's doing it on purpose. He's saying what he wants to say, which is the message, don't tone down the violence, that's what he's saying. And then, because people who are decent, left or right or center, are going to be like, well, no, we should tone down the violence. What are you on about? And then he's going to say, but no, because it's preferable to have this world over this one, isn't it? And then people are going to be like, yeah, I mean...
No, he's saying that the right is pushing us to here. And that the left has been constantly pushing to here. The right is pushing for here. We've been pushing for here. We're not pushing for here. That's not what's happening. The left has not been pushing for right genocide, for right people to be genocide. The left has been pushing for civility. I have shown you. The right is constantly pushing to get rid of all left-wing people, all trans people. We need to get all the immigrants out of our country, whether they're legal or not, because they're taking their jobs. What I'm getting from this is that we're here right now, and that like the left is pushing for here, but the right's pushing for here. And if the right, like, it's getting to the point where, like, why the fuck, like, if the right wants the war, then maybe just let him have it. And maybe that's what he's saying.
Sure, it is preferable. No, civility is preferable, you liar.
Or this world, right? And the one-sided calls for just us, we just need to disavow. No, I'm sorry. The President of the United States, without having any idea at all who the actual shooter is, has already blamed one side.
Because there was a bullet which said, catch this fascist. Which is the side that calls the other fascist? As someone who receives that insult constantly, be real, Destiny. Be honest.
I believe he released that video before the bullets were found.
Once again, I'm honest on my end. I'm not saying all Democrats do this. I'm not saying all liberals are like this. I've seen a lot in my comments that say I'm left-wing, but it's horrible. I didn't like what Charlie Kirk said, but this is unbelievable, and I strongly... Great. That's a good lefty. Differently from you. You instead demonize the entirety of the other side and then add calls to violence. This is the difference between me and him. If you appreciate my content so far...
Bro. Hold on. I'm going to listen to that again.
And the one-sided calls for just us, we just need to disavow. No, I'm sorry. The President of the United States, without having any idea at all who the actual shooter is, has already blamed one side.
Because there was a bullet which said, catch this fascist. Which is the side that calls the other fascist? As someone who receives that insult...
Bro, just because you... Like, the right... They called Biden a fascist his entire fucking presidency. What do you mean? Like, both sides call each other fascists. They called Democrats fascists because we wanted people to take a vaccine because we didn't want them to die.
Constantly. Be real, Destiny. Be honest. Once again, I'm honest on my end. I'm not saying all Democrats...
You're not being honest.
Let's do this. I'm not saying all liberals are like this. I've seen a lot in my comments that say I'm left-wing, but it's horrible. I didn't like what Charlie Kirk said, but this is unbelievable, and I strongly... Great. That's a good lefty. Differently from you. You instead demonize the entirety of...
Like, that is the majority of the left. The majority of the right want the left dead. The majority of the left are just trying to get back to civility. They just want to get back there where we can trust our court systems again, where the people who commit 34 felonies actually go to prison, where the people who went to Epstein Island go to prison, get caught and go to prison. Like, this reminds me of this meme. Hold on. It reminds me of this meme. Like, you can come up with it in like the last, I want to say, century maybe. You can come up with a few times that Democrats have been genuinely shitty. I can do a few quick Google searches in the last couple of years and come up with this. I've shown you in the making of this video. You say, yeah, we're not the same. Yeah, we're not the same. Chet, you won't even watch Destiny's video to the entirety of him trying to explain why. Like you ended it, and you're barely 5 minutes, just over 5 minutes in. Like I'm a regular viewer of Destiny streams. I can, if he does choose to watch this video, he's going to watch your entire video and respond to it. And then he's going to throw it on his channels, showing the entire response, no cuts. You can't even watch his entire video of him explaining why we shouldn't do these things, why we shouldn't be forced to apologize. Metatron, I think you're a liar and disingenuous. And I think you can do better. I think you are politically biased. You have a certain ideology you're pushing. And I think you're a bad person. I do want to see the comments. Let's look at the comments. Nuclear on everybody. Well done, brother. He's a ghoul. Okay. Yes, I downvoted these. Always defended truth. Now he also defends morals. Good for him. Okay. You're calling for the arrest of a guy you disagree with who's not calling for political violence. That's insane. Okay.
You genuinely do hate conservatives, don't you?
Very much so. Like I've moved full on to like the political violence level or the real violence level when it comes to conservative people. Yeah, I think they need to be like excised from my fucking country. I think they are demonstrably fucking evil people by any moral system that most people would use.
Yeah, you instead are.
Yeah, that's fucked. He shouldn't have said that. And if he was serious and not memeing, he should be punished for it. And he was. I believe if I'm noticing the era of Destiny in this was when he was on Twitch. He's not on Twitch anymore. And I don't think that this video is even on his YouTube because of what he said. Whatever. I made my points. I'm gonna go now.